Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Well, this is the confirmation of what I've been saying about the formation of the second club, led or at least started by Russia and China. And the West tried to too late disperse the two. They were forming, the Russians and the Chinese were forming an as they call it, better than an alliance. What is better than an alliance? I don't know, brotherhood, sisterhood. So they tried to destroy it now. Now, while these guys were left together to mangle, it's too late now. Too late. And you know why? When you get in a punch in the face too many times by that guy, and you think, well, if I associate myself with this guy and we become more than friends, we can oppose that guy. And when the guy shows up, hey guys, Emil, I got a I don't know, candy bar, you want it? And a flower and some wine, you want it? And let's befriend, let the other guy go. No, I don't think so. After you punch me in the face and kick me in the balls for so many times, you think I'm just gonna drop down my friendship with this guy or brotherhood because you have a stupid momentary candy bar, flower and wine, bottle of wine or bottles of wine. The quantity is not a problem, but anyway, just saying, no, this is so naive. That's why the diplomacy, the US diplomacy, does not exist. The only thing that exists in the toolbox of the American diplomacy is blackmail, threats, and regime change, and bombardment. That's all. If you don't do this, I'm gonna do this, and then blackmails, threats, boom, 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 I'm gonna punch you in the face, and you do this, I'm gonna do this, if not do this, I'm gonna give you money, just turn around, bend over, and all things like this. And if not, I will activate my weasels over there with the money, try to have a little regime change, and if that doesn't work out, I will say, you know what, you kind of look at me in a very, how do you call it, strange way. I think there are some rights that you don't respect in your country, and I will intervene to save those groups that you infringe their rights. Wink, wink, boom. Right? That's the extent of US, unfortunately, diplomacy. Blinken is not a diplomat. What's her name? The authoritarian, what's her name? There was the one that destroyed Libya. Remember her? Yeah, she was a candidate for the US presidency. She was not a diplomat. She was working with these weapons 100%. I'm not saying you should not have them in your toolbox, as a negotiator, as a diplomat. No, you should, but should not be the first ones that you use. That would be the last resort. But they don't have anything else. Why? It's like a lion on a savannah. The lion doesn't need to be sneaky. He just runs towards you and fucks you up straight. You know what I mean? It's not like, as I always say, like a fox or like a jackal. How should I fucking do that? No, just go straight. So that's the difference right here. The Russians have Lavrov, the Chinese have Wang Wei, or Wei, I think it is, and then you have the Jai Shankar of India, and I'm mentioning adults. I'm not mentioning Baerbock of Germany, another, how should I put it, unseasoned individual, very naive and very doesn't know much. And we had Liz Truss, Lizzie Lazy, Lizard Truss. You remember her? Jesus Christ, another beauty, as Trump would say. So anyway, let's see what's happening in this article here in order to understand what's going on. This article comes from the Associated Press, and it is from today, December 25th, 2022. China's foreign minister signals deeper ties with Russia. Remember the Doors song, famous, whatever. No, I can't get much higher, light my fire. Well, the same thing, I can't get much higher, and I can't go deeper. It is as it is, deep as it is, or shallow as it is, long as it is, or short as it is. However you take it, that's a limit. The same here. China foreign minister signals deeper ties. Like what? You got a double length or something? I don't know. Anyway, Let's stop being nasty for a change. Anyway, Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi defended his country's position on the war in Ukraine on Sunday and signaled that China would deepen ties with Russia in the coming year. Remember when they met at G20, the shuffling madness, Biden, the semi-conscious organism that supposedly lives in the White House with his, how do you call those? How do you call those things that you, calluses, the Kamala Harris with her calluses on her knees from cleaning the floors, if you know what I mean. I know you do. If you don't, I will tell you. Anyway, so these guys supposedly, they met at G20, the shuffling madness with Xi Jinping, and everybody was like, whoa, their relationship is back. Biden showed his candy bar, his little flower, and the bottle of wine, and stupid Xi Jinping fell for it. And I was like, you gotta be fucking me, man. This is bullshit. It's not, come on, where? And I was trying to look over there. Yeah, he's turning against Putin. I read the articles, I read what the guy said, and that's not what this guy said. And he didn't. But anyway, they tried to form a certain opinion on these weasels that live among us. And they vote. Okay, Wang, speaking by video to a conference in Chinese capital, also blamed America for the deterioration in relations between the world's two largest economies, saying that China has, and I'm quoting, firmly rejected the United States' erroneous China policy, end quote. China has pushed back against Western pressure, and this is what? Associated Press saying that. Western pressure on trade, technology, human rights, and its claims to a broad swath of the Western Pacific, accusing the US of bullying. Its refusal to condemn the invasion of Ukraine and join others in imposing others. This much, okay, about 50 countries. Imposing sanctions on Russia has further fried ties and fueled an emerging divide with much of Europe. Wang said that China would deepen strategic mutual trust and mutual beneficial cooperation with Russia. And I'm quoting, with regard to the Ukraine crisis, we have consistently upheld the fundamental principles of objectivity and impartiality, without favoring one side or the other, wink wink, or adding fuel to the fire, still less seeking selfish gains from the situation, end quote, he said according to an official text of his remarks. Well, what do you want? Even as China has found common ground with Russia, as both come under Western pressure, its economic future remains tied to American and European markets and technology. Yeah, like they're idiots, they can't invent shit. That's an insult, but whatever. This is how they think about you guys, the Chinese. Yeah, where they say, yeah, we're together. Here the candy, here the little, how many colored little beads? Colored beads, colored glass gonna give you? You're gonna get Manhattan? We're gonna get what? Beijing for 3 beads and 5 bullshit? Insulting. Leader Xi Jinping is pushing Chinese industry to become more self-sufficient. I wonder why. Because what these guys did with the Russians. But Wang acknowledged that experience has shown, and I'm quoting, that China and the United States cannot decouple or sever supply chains. May I add yet. They don't have any interest. But if the Russians, the Americans decide to do that, we're not going to have Tylenol, I guess. Like we already don't. And many other antibiotics. Why? Because somehow these idiots, these smart people, were bought and they say, oh, it's okay, let's do some business over there. Let's move everything over there. They work for us. And we give them dollars, they will print. Puck, 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 puck. And now what? So who's who, what's what? I mean, if they start a real war, economic and all that, both countries are going to be fucked up. But you and I, the living in America, we're going to be really, we're going to eat what? Grass or something? We're going to wear what? My shirts? Yeah, I can share them with you guys. No problem with that. Anyway, He said that China would strive to bring relations with the US back on course, saying they had plunged because, and I'm quoting, the United States has stubbornly continued to see China as its primary competitor and engage in blatant blockade, suppression and provocation against China. I mean, you are their competitor, there's no doubt about it, and you will never be friends or something like this, because in this kind of situation one of you has to be the boss. You can't be two bosses unless you divide the world in two, like a mafia group in a city. These neighborhoods are mine, Al Capone, and these are mine, Cappuccino or whatever. So yes, these guys just thought that by having Biden throw his flair with Xi Jinping at how do you call it, G20, Xi Jinping will be like, oh, mesmerized, oh, I love you. Again, that's how they reported, because they know the strata of the society, the segment of the society that listens to this bullshit believes it. And that's all they need. They don't need you. They're watching me right now. They don't need me talking to you right now. No, because they know we don't buy this shit. We don't bite, you know. But the rest, those guys, not the rest. Those guys are like this, like fish in a pond. Pop, 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 don't know shit. And then you come, those guys come like the angler, the fisherman, puts the bait. As soon the bait falls on the water, hits the water, bang, and then falls a little bit. The little fish, food, back out. But you and I are like, I think that looks like a fake bait. I think that's a, what is this? Okay, no, that's a guy over there. They don't cast that bait for you and I. That's what I'm trying to say. And anyway, they cast it for those stars. And they do a good job, because we always gonna have of that kind of strata segment of the population. And I will say no more. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.